Yeah. We want to analyze the two speeches of Reagan and Kennedy. And the first question is, according to Hampson, how did Reagan and Kennedy's speeches define the Berlin Wall? And the first speech helped make it an international symbol of political oppression, and the second speech helped arguably bring it down.
Yeah, and then we have to analyze the sentence. Each speech was a tightrope walk, and we had to find out what literary device was used. And we said that that was used a metaphor, and it means that you can take or be on a very precautious course, and you have to act very carefully to avoid two bad situations. In this situation, he wants to be provocative, but he still has to be careful.
Yeah, and the third question is what type of literary device is used here and what does it mean? And we said it was a simile, and it describes how the Berlin Wall ended very dramatically. Dramatically, like an explosion.
Yeah, and it was to the center as an explosion with the powder keg and spark. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we want to characterize John F. Kennedy, and he was the 35th president of USA, and he was the youngest president, yeah, and he was born in Brooklyn, and he was graduated from college and married to Jacqueline Bourgeois, and he had kids.
Yeah, and then we have to analyze the speech using the rhetorical pentagon, and we actually have a quote that says, "So let me ask you, as I close to lift your eyes beyond the dangers of today, to the hopes of tomorrow, beyond the freedom merely of the city of Berlin, or you country of Germany, to the advance of freedom everywhere, beyond the wall, to the day of peace with justice, beyond yourself and ourselves to all mankind." And we said it was a trickle-on because he says to lift your eyes to the advance and to all mankind. And we also said that it creates a clap effect because this is where he builds up for people to clap and cheer and yeah, go on Team Kennedy. And we also said that he uses personal pronouns such as I and you, and it creates a personal relation between him and the listeners, the people, and they can identify with him.
Yeah, then we want to describe the comment on the speech, most famous line, "Ich bin ein Berliner." And he associates with the German people, and he does not he does not distinguish between the people who live in West Berlin and the people who live in East Berlin, and he and it characterizes the fact that he does not want to support the Soviet way of ruling.
Yeah, and we also have this question that says that how was the Berlin Wall used in the speech? And it is used to show how brutal it was when it decided to separate West and East Berlin. They hurt a lot of people, and people got hurt because they got separated from their families. Sorry, and friends. And people got killed because they want to see their family and friends. And the wall was used to start a riot. The speech was used to start a riot and break down the wall.
Yeah, and if we go back to the article by Rick Hampson and look at the final paragraph, and it says, why was Kennedy's speech successful? And we said that it was because he related to the hurt civilians and that he want to start and he want to start a riot because it was a main problem in the world, and so
Okay.
then we want to compare Kennedy's speech to Reagan's speech, and the two speeches also illustrate how hard it is for any president to find the right words and how to explain this issue. And then Kennedy is the first president who starts to focus on this problem about the Berlin Wall in public. But Reagan's speech came out years later. After Kennedy's speech. So we can assume that he was inspired by Kennedy's speech because he also refers to Kennedy's speech in his own speech. The difference is that Reagan did not start the riot about the Berlin Wall. It was Kennedy who started. And that's the ending of our presentation. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Bye.